Hi everyone, today we're here with Brendon Lo. Brendon's been a friend of mine for a while. I met Brendon in 2010 when I taught him a Raynaud massage diploma. That's when I was still working for Brendon Raynaud, teaching Raynaud massage. Did the diploma course with me, and since then really got into massage himself. He's working as a practitioner from Surrey Hills in Sydney. Brendon's here today because he's just done a series of massages with me, where we did 5 massages again for a case study like I've been doing for a while with some of the other clients you've seen. Today I want to sort of talk to Brendon about a few different things, also to see how he's responded to that, if he felt anything in particular, but also I want you guys to have Brendon's experience of getting a lot of massage over the time, because he has been very regular. He's kind of like me, where he sees the benefits of it a lot. He continuously gets massages to maintain his health. He also does a lot of training to look after his body. So let me just ask you, so before you might have done that massage training, how was your body? Did you have, you said you had niggles then, your back would go out kind of easily?
My body was really tight, like very sort of, I suppose solid is probably...
Yeah, you were. I remember you were heaps more solid then. You were definitely more solid.
Yeah.
Denser, you kind of felt.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember pretty clearly.
Yeah. And I remember sort of, you know, like getting a deep massage would, for me at the time, would really hurt. You know, like it would be really, you know, hard to deal with. But these days, you know, like it's different these days. Like for the most part, it's kind of, I can deal with it heaps better. I'm not saying that there aren't bits that are, you know, get tired and sore from time to time, but it's really different to before. You know? Like say with my legs, probably I've had different things going on with my legs, but probably the most prominent thing was my knees. I had bad knees for about three and a half years, and it kind of got triggered by an injury. I did it during tennis. I was playing a lot of tennis, and I was doing, you know, squad training and stuff like that, and it started from that. But what it kind of boiled down to was I had really, really tight legs, and everything was just kind of jammed up and holding my knees, and that's kind of why, you know, I'm certain that's why I got the injury in the first place, because there was just so much tension.
So much tension, yeah. And
then, so yeah, for a few years I had sore knees, like even going for long walks and stuff, my knees would ache and I'd have to sort of rest them and stuff. And pretty much from then on, like it's never been...
From the course on?
Yep, from the course on, never been an issue. Now I can, you know, I can go to the gym, I can lift heavy, I can do heavy squats and stuff like that, and my knees don't get affected.
Cool.
So it's a big change.
That is a good change. Now, in regard to what he's saying there, I'd kind of like to talk a bit about that, where his experience is very similar to mine. Is similar to an experience I've had, and I try and carry across to some of my clients. That many people in this world who get massages or in any kind of healing modality kind of work don't get to experience this very often in their lives at all. So anyone across the board, and that is getting a massage every day for 2 weeks. Okay, so Brendon's had, you know, he can now explain, oh, I've had this, you know, I did this massage, I got some massages, and you guys might not know what that means. You know, you go, oh cool, he got some massages, you know, and it helped his knees. Now, it wasn't necessarily just getting some massages quickly that helped, you know, or 1 or 2 or 3 that might have helped his knees. It was intense, deep, repetitive massage for 2 weeks. So he did a massage course where he got treatments from me a couple of times. I did treat a couple of times over that 2 weeks. And then every day, the students had practiced on each other. So it was an intensive massage training course. So every day for 2 weeks, you're getting probably an hour and a half massage. Now, that's something most people never get to experience, and the benefits from that are huge. You know, you can do a lot of groundwork that you might never be able to do at all in some cases, okay? So, yeah, that's why it's another service I offer to my clients, where I have this thing where I offer them 5 massages within 7 days, 2 hours at a time. And I've had a lot of success with things like that. I've helped one woman with tinnitus, which is ringing in the ears. I got rid of that for her over the 5 days. Another guy with prostate problems, something you wouldn't really think about, being able to get help with massage, especially in a very short amount of time. So after 5 days, he said he has not been able to go to the bathroom this comfortably and easily for numerous months before. And it wasn't something he was expecting from it. He was more expecting a tension release in his shoulders and body, and just, you know, a general body state of health and detox. But it was you know, some other things kind of came up with that as well. So yeah, just to elaborate on that thing that Brendon did experience, was maybe something different than what your clients may experience from getting, you know, a kind of one-off massage every now and then, or even, you know, it would be hard to say how long it might have taken if Brendon had come and got, you know, a regular treatment every week or every fortnight. Had he come to see someone and gone, hey, I've got sore knees and they give me issues, and then the massage therapist goes, okay, well, you know, let's see what we can do, sends him home, he might not have come back because it might not have helped that much yet. Okay, because he was doing a massage course, he was getting these massages every day. He wasn't thinking so much, I'm going to try and get relief out of this from this. It was just part of it. All right, so it's a good point to understand that a lot of massage, initially at the beginning of treating your clients, it can be a really good thing. So what I try to do is if someone comes in with an issue, it's like, okay, well, I want to see you quite close together for the first few weeks and really do some of the groundwork of getting this tension out. And before we think about a maintenance plan or seeing you once a month or whatever it might be to keep you at a certain state of health, it's like, let's do the groundwork. Let's really get rid of some of this tension that you're holding in your body, and we've got to do it so your body doesn't accumulate tension again from the stresses of life, you know. And so, yeah, it's just a good way, you know, keep that in mind. Think about that groundwork at the beginning. Move some of this tension and blocked energy and blocked emotion out of the body, and then think about doing a maintenance plan to keep someone at a state of health like that. Now, I also wanted to talk to Brendon, obviously, about how he's felt getting these massages over the last sort of 7 weeks that we've done. We didn't get to do it as regularly as we would have liked to. My plan was to kind of do it over 5 weeks and consecutive weeks, and it kind of spread itself out over more like 8 weeks. But yeah, so I just wanted to see, you know, before you came again, it had been a while since I had seen Brendon, so it was definitely a good thing. But how did you feel? Were you kind of happy with what happened? Did you feel different? Did we get the results you wanted, or not so much? Was there things you kind of still felt you wanted to work on, or how's things going?
I think that actually we achieved a lot fairly early on.
Okay.
Yeah, in the first couple, I think that there was, I don't know, I had been sort of getting some massages elsewhere and stuff like that, but I kind of felt like that wasn't really sort of addressing what I really needed, and I felt like within a couple of weeks we had sort of gotten into what I really needed.
Okay, cool.
So that was cool.
Cool.
And the difference being that, I just felt heaps better. I felt like, you know, I wasn't having to nurse any sort of niggly bits or, you know, that sort of thing. I felt kind of relaxed and back to normal, and I could get on with things.
Okay.
So that was
cool.
good. Yeah. And then over the course of it, I don't know, I think it just progressed from there. I think it was just sort of bit by bit getting better and better, and now I feel pretty much back to best shape I've been, you know, so far.
Okay.
So.
Okay, and look, there was probably, it's hard to kind of gauge, there wasn't anything in particular. You know, it wasn't like, hey, there's a big thing here that needs to be worked on.
No.
Okay, you know, for you it's more like, okay, I'm at a certain, I know where I can be at, I kind of want to get back to that.
Yeah.
I know I've been there before, I kind of know how to do it.
Yeah.
It's not so much, you know, wasn't like you were nearly back to where you might have been before you did the course, for example.
No.
Okay, so it's a different thing. Also, what we were kind of trying to achieve for this demo was, I've done a similar thing to Brendon once before, where we did 4 massages over about, it was pretty much a month. We were really solid with those ones, and he was training really hard. That means he's also a personal trainer, and he trains hard with exercise. And what I found through doing that with him was that the harder he trained, and during that intense training period, and me then working his body was responding and loosening up more, and responding in a better way to when he wasn't training as hard. Okay, so what we've kind of learned over this time is that exercise is really good for the body, all right? But then at loosening up the body. Okay, so strong exercise is actually good at helping, teaching the body how to, or activating the body's mechanisms at responding to the massage better. So how to analyze that could be quite scientific, but from both of our understandings, we know that there's a big emotional aspect where stress is involved, on the basic level of stress being really busy in life, and not actually feeling, oh, I'm stressed. A lot of people, when you say you're stressed, they kind of get offended, thinking that you have to be in anxiety, and that's what stress is. But stress is just living on this daily level of constantly being go, 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 go. Now, when you're doing that intense kind of physical training where you're really straining, you're grunting and you're pushing yourself, it's actually a really good release of stress. Okay, so and then squeezing the muscles that hard and that intensely with that real kind of emotional energy is really good at relieving tension from the body, and that emotional aspect of tension in the body. And so in that time of treating Brendon, and I was we were doing pretty full on. We were smashing the massages then. It was deep, really hard, deep work. Every week that he'd come in, he'd be looser, and we got to the point where we were working on his IT band towards the middle of the thigh. That tension was no longer there at the beginning of the massages. It was like, okay, I didn't have to warm that up and kind of tread carefully, and I could just treat that like any other part of the body really, and then work more towards the insertion points of the IT band. So that was something I've actually never experienced until then and since then, where someone has really taken the training so seriously in their own home and own practice, and then they've taken the massages so seriously. So it was a really interesting thing for both of us, for his practice, for his understanding of how the body kind of works. So yeah, that was that's what we were trying to achieve with these 5 sessions. We didn't kind of get to that point. Things break up. But still, what we saw now was Brendon's body responds. It hasn't forgotten how to respond. Okay, it's kind of like people know about muscle memory from doing weights and doing exercise. If you've done some kind of intense exercise or fitness for a certain part of your life, if you stop for years and you go back to it, your body's got that muscle memory, it's got that intelligence. Same thing happens with massage. So what might have taken Brendon at the beginning weeks of massage in an intensive environment of a massage course, to get a particular result might have only taken him a couple of treatments with me now over a couple of weeks. So that's another thing that we can all learn from this, is that yeah, the body's got memory. Once you do that groundwork, the body will always respond in a more effective way, I guess. So yeah, is there anything else you kind of might want to add, or that came to your mind, or?
Well, just when you were talking about that, I was thinking, you know, like I remember those first few, you know, when we were sort of really getting that sort of solidness out of my body. I remember that it was, some of it was really hard, like difficult to go through. Yeah. It was really painful. Yeah. I remember, you know, like being in a lot of pain, I suppose. It wasn't like, oh no, you shouldn't be doing that kind of pain. It was more like, just, this really hurts, you know. But in hindsight, it was really, really worth it, because on the other side of that, you know, it's kind of like you don't ever really have to go through that again. Not the same way anyway. Like you do get pain and stuff sometimes, but not the same.
Yeah,
sort of
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
So it's kind of, it's really cool.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, cool. I'll leave it at that. Cool.